Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by life's challenges, as if the weight of the world was crushing down on your shoulders? The ancient Stoics discovered something remarkable, a set of principles that could transform even the weakest person into someone with unshakable inner strength. Today, I'm going to reveal 10 powerful Stoic principles that will fundamentally change how you handle adversity, build resilience, and develop the kind of mental fortitude that makes you unstoppable. But before we dive in, I need to ask you something. Are you truly ready to transform yourself? Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just theory. It's a complete system for building inner strength that has been tested for over 2,000 years. If you're ready to become the strongest version of yourself, then pay close attention to every word I'm about to say. Let's begin. Before we start, if this is your first time on my channel, I ask that you help me by subscribing and liking the video so I can continue creating more content like this in the future. Remember, you are stronger than you think and more capable than you imagine. Don't let other people's opinions and judgments cloud your vision of yourself. You are unique, valuable, and worthy of love and respect. You don't need anyone's approval to feel complete and satisfied. Now let's dive into these 10 transformative Stoic principles. Principle number 1. Understand what you can and cannot control. This is perhaps the most fundamental teaching of Stoicism, and it's the foundation upon which all other principles are built. The Stoics divided everything in life into two categories: things within our control and things beyond our control. Sounds simple, right? But here's what makes this profound. Most people spend their entire lives fighting against things they cannot control. Think about it. How many times have you stressed about the weather, about traffic, about what someone said about you, about the economy, about aging? All of these things are completely outside your control, yet we waste enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy worrying about them, trying to change them, getting angry when they don't go our way. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher who was born a slave and lived with permanent disability from torture, understood this principle better than almost anyone. He taught that we must make the distinction between what is ours and what is not ours. What is truly ours? Our judgments, our reactions, our values, our choices, our character. What is not ours? Everything else. Other people's opinions, circumstances, outcomes, events, the past, the future. When you truly internalize this distinction, something remarkable happens. You stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable. You redirect that energy toward what you can actually influence: your inner state, your responses, your growth, your actions. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't about becoming passive or accepting injustice. It's about strategic focus. It's about understanding where your power actually lies. In practice, this looks like accepting that you cannot control whether you get the promotion, but you can control the quality of your work and your attitude. You cannot control whether someone likes you, but you can control how you treat them. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control your effort. This principle alone, if you truly embrace it, will eliminate 90% of your unnecessary suffering. Because most suffering comes from our resistance to what we cannot control. When you stop fighting the unchangeable, you discover a deep well of peace and power within yourself. Make this your daily practice. When something happens, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, decide how to respond. If no, let it go immediately. This simple question will transform your life. Principle number 2, build strength through voluntary discomfort. We live in the most comfortable era in human history. Climate control, unlimited entertainment, instant gratification, protection from almost every form of hardship. But the Stoics understood something we've forgotten: Comfort makes us weak. Seneca, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in Rome, would periodically practice poverty. He would sleep on a hard floor, eat simple meals, wear rough clothing, and live as if he had lost everything. Why would someone with access to unlimited luxury choose discomfort? Because he understood that by voluntarily experiencing hardship, he was preparing himself for the possibility of real hardship. He was also proving to himself that his happiness didn't depend on external comfort. This practice, which the Stoics called hardship training, serves multiple vital functions. First, it builds resilience. When you regularly expose yourself to controlled discomfort, cold showers, intense physical exercise, fasting, you expand your capacity to handle adversity. What once seemed unbearable becomes manageable. Second, it increases gratitude. When you've been cold, your warm home feels like paradise. When you've been hungry, your next meal tastes incredible. Voluntary discomfort resets your baseline, making ordinary comforts feel like luxuries. Third, it breaks dependency. If you know you can be happy with very little, you're no longer enslaved to maintaining a certain lifestyle. Your well-being doesn't depend on circumstances remaining favorable. This is true freedom. The Stoics believed that we should regularly practice what they called premeditatio malorum, contemplating and even simulating the worst that could happen, not to attract negativity, but to immunize yourself against it. When you've already experienced discomfort voluntarily, you're not afraid of it anymore, and when you're not afraid of discomfort, there's very little anyone can threaten you with. In modern terms, this might mean taking cold showers every morning, practicing intermittent fasting, exercising intensely even when you don't feel like it, sleeping on the floor occasionally, spending a day without any technology, going without something you normally depend on. The point isn't to be masochistic, it's to build mental and physical toughness. It's to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you think. It's to expand your comfort zone until it encompasses almost everything. Start small, choose one form of voluntary discomfort and practice it consistently. As you build this muscle, you'll notice something remarkable. Challenges that used to overwhelm you become manageable setbacks. That used to devastate you become minor inconveniences. You become unshakable, because you've already proven to yourself that you can handle discomfort. Principle number 3, practice negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive or even morbid, but stay with me because this is one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal. The Stoics regularly practiced contemplating loss. They would imagine losing their wealth, their health, their loved ones, their possessions, everything they valued. Why on earth would anyone do this? Because this practice serves two crucial functions. First, it generates profound gratitude. When you regularly contemplate losing what you have, you appreciate it more deeply. Your relationships become precious, your health becomes a miracle, your opportunities become gifts. Instead of taking everything for granted, you recognize how fortunate you are right now, in this moment. Second, it prepares you for loss. Loss is inevitable. Everyone you love will die or leave. Everything you own will eventually be lost. Your health will decline. Your circumstances will change. These aren't pessimistic thoughts, they're simple facts. The question isn't whether you'll face loss. The question is whether you'll be prepared for it. When you've regularly contemplated loss mentally, it doesn't devastate you when it actually happens. You've already processed it. You've already made peace with impermanence. Epictetus taught that we should never say of anything, "I have lost it." Instead say, "I have returned it." Everything we have is on loan. Our loved ones are mortal beings temporarily in our lives. Our possessions are temporary. Even our own lives are borrowed. This isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to liberate you from the tyranny of attachment and expectation. Modern psychology has validated this ancient wisdom. Techniques like stress inoculation involve exposure to controlled doses of anxiety, producing stimuli to build Resilience. The Stoics figured this out 2 millennia ago. In practice, spend a few moments each day contemplating what you might lose, not dwelling morbidly, but calmly acknowledging impermanence. Imagine your loved ones are mortal. Feel that reality. Then when you interact with them today, treat each moment as the gift it is. Imagine you could lose your job, your health, your home. Feel the discomfort of that possibility. Then open your eyes and recognize that right now you have these things. This practice doesn't attract loss. It transforms your relationship with what you have from entitlement to gratitude, from attachment to appreciation. And when loss inevitably comes, you'll be ready, not destroyed, but prepared, dignified, able to endure with grace. Principle number 4. Develop a morning routine based on intention. How you start your day determines how you live your life. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius would begin each day by mentally preparing for what lay ahead. He would remind himself of his values, anticipate challenges, and set his intention. This wasn't random, it was strategic. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, you've surrendered control of your attention. You're reacting to other people's agendas from the very first moment. But when you wake up with intention, you step into your day as a conscious creator. The Stoics recommend a specific morning practice that consists of several elements. First, wake at a consistent time. This creates discipline and structure. It demonstrates that you control your day rather than letting circumstances control you. Second, practice stillness. Spend time in silence, meditation, or contemplation. This creates mental clarity and inner peace before the chaos of the day begins. Third, review your principles. Read something philosophical or inspiring. Remind yourself of your values and how you want to show up in the world. Fourth, visualize your day. Anticipate challenges and mentally rehearse how you'll respond. This mental preparation makes you far less likely to react poorly when difficulties arise. Fifth, set clear intentions. Decide what matters most today. What are your top 3 priorities? What kind of person do you want to be today? This morning routine doesn't need to be long. Even 15 minutes can transform your entire day. The key is consistency and intentionality. You're not just going through motions, you're consciously designing your mindset for the day ahead. Marcus Aurelius wrote at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? This attitude of purposeful engagement rather than reluctant obligation changes everything. Your morning routine is the foundation. Everything else builds on it. If you start your day with intention, clarity, and purpose, that energy carries through everything you do. But if you start reactively scattered and unclear, you'll struggle all day to find your center. Make your mornings sacred. Protect them from intrusion. Use them to build the mental and emotional strength you'll need for whatever comes. This single practice, if you commit to it fully, will transform your life more than almost anything else. Principle number 5, accept what is while working to improve what can be. This principle seems contradictory at first. How can you accept things as they are while simultaneously working to change them? But this is precisely the wisdom of Stoicism. The Stoics weren't passive. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor who fought wars and governed. Epictetus taught and influenced countless students. Seneca was involved in politics and business. They were engaged with the world, but they maintained an internal acceptance even while taking external action. Here's how this works. You accept the reality of this moment exactly as it is. You don't waste energy wishing things were different or complaining about how they are. You see clearly what is, but acceptance doesn't mean resignation. Once you've accepted reality, you ask, what can I do about this? What's within my control to improve? This combination of acceptance and action is incredibly powerful. Most people do one or the other. Some people accept everything and do nothing. They become passive victims of circumstances. Others refuse to accept anything and fight against reality. They exhaust themselves in futile resistance. The Stoic does both accepts what is acts on what can be improved. For example, imagine you lose your job. The non-Stoic response might be denial, anger, blame, depression, all of which waste energy and solve nothing. The Stoic response looks like this. First, acceptance. I have lost my job. This is the reality. I cannot change what has already happened. Second, assessment. What can I control going forward? I can control my attitude. I can control my effort in finding new work. I can control how I use this time. Third, action. Based on what I can control, what should I do? Update my resume network, learn new skills, apply strategically. This approach eliminates wasted energy on unchangeable facts while maximizing productive energy on improvable factors. It's acceptance plus agency, reality plus responsibility. In your daily life practice, this two-step process. First, ask what is the reality right now. Accept it fully without resistance. Second, ask what can I do about this, then do it without complaint. This practice eliminates the two greatest wastes of human energy, denial and helpless. Complaining. You face reality clearly, you act decisively, you become unstoppable. Principle number 6, build character through daily practice. The Stoics believed that virtue, excellence of character was the highest good. Not pleasure, not success, not comfort character, but they also understood that character isn't built through grand gestures or occasional heroic acts. It's built through small daily choices. Every single decision you make is either building the person you want to become or eroding that person. There are no neutral choices. When you choose to get up when the alarm rings rather than hitting snooze, you're building discipline. When you keep a promise, even when it's inconvenient, you're building integrity. When you respond with patience, when you feel angry, you're building emotional mastery. When you do hard work, when you could slack off, you're building work ethic. These small choices compound over time. They create your character. The Stoics understood that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means that your character is under construction every single day. Every choice is a brick. Are you building a fortress or a prison? Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to focus on the quality of his actions and thoughts. He knew that the emperor he was today determined the emperor he would be tomorrow. You might not be ruling an empire, but the same principle applies. The person you are today determines the person you'll be tomorrow. Which choices strengthen the character you want to have? Do those which choices weaken it. Stop doing those. It really is that simple, not easy, but simple. The key is awareness. Most people sleepwalk through their choices. They react habitually without considering who they're becoming. The Stoic practices mindful choice. Before acting, ask yourself, does this align with who I want to be? If yes, do it with full commitment. If no, don't do it, regardless of the temporary pleasure or convenience. This practice of character, building through daily choice, creates integrity in the deepest sense. Integration between who you claim to be and who you actually are. Your values and your actions align. This alignment creates profound self-respect and inner peace. You're not at war with yourself. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're consciously becoming the person you aspire to be. One choice at a time. Start today. Choose one area where you want to build character. Maybe it's honesty, maybe it's discipline, maybe it's courage, maybe it's patience. Then in every relevant situation, make the choice that builds that quality. Do this consistently. Watch yourself transform. Principle number 7, practice. Rational perspective. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques is learning to see events from multiple perspectives, especially a broader, more rational one. Marcus Aurelius constantly practiced this. When something upset him, he would mentally zoom out. He would consider how insignificant this event was in the grand scheme of time and space. He would ask himself, will this matter in 10 years, in 100 years, in 1,000 years? This practice doesn't minimize real problems, it right-sizes them. Most of what upsets us daily is trivial when viewed from a broader perspective. Someone cut you off in traffic. In the vast expanse of your life, this incident is utterly meaningless. Someone criticized you. In the scope of human history, this judgment is invisible. You made a mistake compared to the challenges humans have faced. Throughout time, this is nothing. This rational perspective doesn't mean you ignore genuine problems. It means you respond proportionally. You don't treat minor inconveniences as catastrophes. The Stoics also practiced viewing events from other people's perspectives. When someone treats you poorly, instead of reacting with anger, the Stoic asks, why might this person be acting this way? What pain might they be experiencing? What ignorance might be driving their behavior? This doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it replaces reactive anger with understanding, and understanding is far more useful than anger. Another aspect of rational perspective is recognizing that your interpretation of events, not the events themselves, creates your emotional response. Two people can experience the exact same situation and have completely different reactions. Why? Because their interpretations differ. Rain can ruin your day or water your garden. Criticism can devastate you or help you improve. Failure can destroy you or teach you. The event is neutral. Your interpretation gives it meaning. The Stoics teach us to consciously choose interpretations that serve us. When something happens, don't accept your first emotional interpretation. Pause. Ask yourself, is there another way to see this? Is there a more useful interpretation? Almost always there is. This practice of rational perspective prevents you from being controlled by circumstances. Events happen, but you choose what they mean. You choose how to respond. You maintain your empower. Practice this daily. When something upsets you, zoom out. Consider it from a broader perspective. Consider other interpretations. Choose the most rational, useful response. This single practice will eliminate most of your unnecessary suffering. Principle number 8. Cultivate indifference to external circumstances. This principle is often misunderstood, so let me be very clear. Stoic indifference doesn't mean not caring about anything. It means recognizing that your inner state, your character, your values are far more important than external circumstances. The Stoics called this practicing preferred indifference. There are things we naturally prefer, health over sickness, wealth over poverty, but we remain indifferent to them in the sense that they don't determine our worth or our happiness. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of the most respected philosophers in Rome, embodied this principle. His external circumstances changed dramatically, but his inner character remained constant. He was equally philosophical, equally wise, equally content as a slave and as a free man, because he understood that external circumstances don't determine internal state. This is incredibly liberating. It means your happiness doesn't depend on getting the promotion. It doesn't depend on people liking you. It doesn't depend on perfect health or favorable circumstances. Your happiness depends only on your character and your perspective, things that are entirely within your control. This doesn't mean you don't work toward good outcomes. Of course you do, but you're not attached to those outcomes. You don't need them to be okay. You want them, but you don't need them. This distinction is everything. When you need something external, you're vulnerable. Your peace depends on something you don't control. But when you merely prefer something while remaining fundamentally indifferent, you're free. You work toward it, but you're okay either way. In practice, this looks like doing your best work without being attached to recognition, treating your body well without being devastated if you get sick, building relationships without needing others to complete you, pursuing goals without your worth depending on achieving them. This indifference to externals combined with commitment to internal excellence is the essence of Stoic strength. You cannot be shaken because nothing external can touch what matters most: your character, your integrity, your inner peace. These are yours alone. No one can give them to you or take them away. Start practicing this by identifying where you're overly attached to external outcomes. Where does your peace depend on circumstances? Recognize that attachment. Then practice mentally letting go while still doing your best. This is freedom. Principle number 9. Remember death to fully live. Memento mori. Remember death. This was one of the most important Stoic practices. The Stoics kept death always in their awareness, not to create fear or sadness, but to create urgency and perspective. Death is the one absolute certainty. Yet we live as if we have infinite time. We postpone important conversations. We delay pursuing what matters. We waste precious hours on trivial nonsense. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you truly internalize your mortality, everything changes. Petty grievances become absurd. Why waste limited time being angry? Trivial concerns dissolve. Does it matter what strangers think? Procrastination ends. If you knew you had 1 year to live, would you spend it scrolling social media? The practice of memento mori creates focus. It clarifies priorities. It strips away the non-essential. Steve Jobs said, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life." This isn't morbid. It's realistic and liberating. Memento mori also creates gratitude. When you recognize that this day might be your last, it becomes infinitely precious. Ordinary moments become extraordinary. A conversation with a friend is a gift. A sunset is a miracle. Your morning coffee transforms from routine into pleasure. The Stoics practiced this daily. Some wore rings inscribed with memento mori. Others, like Marcus Aurelius, wrote daily reminders in their journals. You might set a daily alarm with this reminder, or place a symbol where you'll see it each morning. The point isn't to become depressed, it's to wake up to the preciousness of life. When you remember, you'll die. You start truly. Living each day becomes a gift to be used well, not wasted, but invested in what matters. In practice, ask yourself regularly, if today were my last day, what would matter? Then do more of that. Ask, what would I regret not doing? Then start doing it. This practice of remembering death paradoxically makes you more alive, more present, more engaged, more purposeful. Don't waste your limited time. Use it consciously. Live as if each day matters, because it does. Principle number 10. Serve something greater than yourself. The final principle brings everything together. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy of detachment or self-sufficiency, but the Stoics believed deeply in contribution and community. Marcus Aurelius saw himself as serving the Roman people. He wrote that humans are naturally social creatures, designed to live in community and contribute to the common good. This isn't obligation, it's fulfillment. When you serve something greater than yourself, your own problems become smaller. Your life gains meaning beyond personal pleasure or achievement. The Stoics believed we're all connected, parts of a larger whole. What's bad for the hive is bad for the bee. When you harm others, you harm yourself. When you help others, you help yourself. This service can take many forms: raising children with intention and love, doing your work excellently, volunteering in your community, creating something of value, teaching what you know, fighting for justice, being a loyal friend. The specific form matters less than the orientation. Are you living solely for yourself or contributing to something beyond yourself? Paradoxically, this outward focus creates inner peace. When your identity isn't entirely wrapped up in your own circumstances, you become less fragile. Your worth doesn't depend on your personal success because it's grounded in contribution. This also provides perspective on your own challenges. When you're focused on serving others, your own problems don't loom as large. You're part of something bigger. Practice, ask yourself, what am I serving beyond my own interests? How am I making the world even slightly better? What will I leave behind? These questions elevate your daily actions from mere personal maintenance to meaningful contribution. And meaning, the Stoics understood, is what makes life worth living. So commit yourself to something beyond yourself. Find a cause worth serving. Not because you should, but because it will make your life richer, fuller, more purposeful. When you combine this service with all the other principles we've discussed, you become truly formidable. You have inner strength built on solid principles. You're prepared for adversity. You're focused on what matters. You're living with purpose. You're contributing to something greater. This is the Stoic ideal. Not an isolated sage on a mountaintop, but an engaged citizen serving with wisdom, strength, and compassion. Conclusion: your journey to unshakable strength begins now. We've explored 10 powerful Stoic principles for building inner strength, but knowledge without application is worthless. The Stoics were ruthless about this. Philosophy, they insisted, isn't about clever arguments. It's about how you live. So here's your challenge. Don't try to implement all 10 principles at once. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, choose one, just one, master it for 30 days, then add another. Maybe you'll start with understanding what you can and cannot control, or perhaps voluntary discomfort calls to you. Maybe you'll begin with a morning routine. Whichever principle you choose, commit fully. Practice it daily, refine it, notice how it changes you. Because small, consistent actions compound over time. You don't transform through dramatic one-time efforts. You transform through daily practice, repeated until it becomes who you are. Marcus Aurelius didn't become a philosopher king through occasional effort. He practiced these principles every single day, even while running an empire dealing with war, plague, and personal tragedy. If he could do it in those circumstances, you can do it in yours. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. You'll fail regularly. You'll react emotionally, lose perspective, forget your principles. This is normal. It's part of being human. What matters is that you return to the practice again and again, without judgment but with determination. Over time, these principles will reshape you. You'll notice you're calmer in chaos, more focused amid distraction, more resilient in adversity, more purposeful in action, more at peace with yourself. You'll become the kind of person you admire, not through magic, but through daily intentional practice. This is the Stoic way, not passive philosophy, but active training, not hoping for strength, but building it brick by brick, day by day. The ancient Stoics left us a complete system for developing inner strength. Everything you need is in these 10 principles. Now it's up to you. Will you study this and do nothing? Or will you take one principle and start practicing it today? The choice, as always, is yours. But know this: the strength you seek already exists within you. These principles simply help you uncover it. Start today. Start small, but start your future self. Will thank you for the strength you're building right now. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one.